Hi, thanks for joining us today. My name is Hlus. I've been a professional classical guitarist and educator for well over 35 years. I taught at Kwantlen Polytechnic University here in Canada for 26 years and chaired the music department for 6. I was also the founder and artistic director for the Fraser Valley Acoustic Guitar Festival. In this digital session for the Volterra Project, we are going to explore the top 5 beliefs that will sabotage your music career. As you probably already gathered, there are way more than 5 beliefs that will undermine your career development as a professional musician. But these 5 mental traps, at least in my opinion, are the ones that will cripple your ability to establish a fulfilling and financially sustainable music career. So, without further ado, let's begin. The first belief that will undermine your career development is, if I just get good enough, I will be discovered and my career will take care of itself. Wow, if I had $1 for every time I heard that one. Yes, you have to play well, really well, especially if you want to have a career as a performer. There's no disputing that. However, just because you play well doesn't mean that you are going to be heard, let alone discovered. Becoming a professional musician takes a lot more than musical skill. Some musicians think that they just have to set up a social media page, post a couple of videos, and sit back and simply wait to be discovered. There is nothing further from the truth. I know, I can hear many objections now. What about so-and-so? What about this artist? What about that performer? I hear you. However, the exception doesn't make the rule, it confirms it. As a musician, as an artist, you must go out and find your audience. You must cultivate your market and grow it. A good idea seldom sells itself unless it clearly addresses a need. Similarly, a good performer seldom sells themselves. Don't misunderstand me or get me wrong. You have to have an excellent product or service. You have to be an excellent performer or teacher or composer or arranger, whatever. But that is only one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that you need to understand how your music meets a need that your audience has. Many musicians and artists will jump in right now and argue that they do not create art for commercial reasons, the whole art versus commerce debate. However, we do create art in hopes that it resonates with others. As an artist, we want to be heard, and that is the key, finding the audience where your music resonates with them. You have to remember that when someone is listening to your music, they're wanting something for themselves. Perhaps your music provides them an escape from their everyday life. Maybe your music helps them feel and express a painful emotion that they have buried deep down inside and don't know how to process or express. Maybe your music helps them celebrate something or remember someone. Or maybe your music simply meets the need of someone wanting to hear great art. Let me ask you a question. What needs does your music address? What service does your music provide? Yes, that is a difficult question to answer, but well worth your time to answer it. Once you have your answers, then you simply have to find the group of people that your music serves and resonates with. Notice that in this scenario, you are not waiting for someone to discover you. You are going out and finding your audience. That shift in mindset alone is really, really powerful because now you have control of your career or situation rather than hoping that someone will discover you. In summary, don't sit back and hope to be discovered. Go out and find your audience. The second belief that will undermine your career development is, I just have to win a major competition and my career will take off. Oh boy, if I had €1 for every time I've heard that one. As an emerging professional musician, you have to think of yourself as a business. It is a special kind of business, but your music career is still a business. Most of us are sole proprietors, which is a type of business that is owned and operated by one person. Businesses are not established by winning a competition or a contest. Like every other type of business, there are certain steps that you need to take to establish yourself. Although many artists disdain or feel a certain drudgery with anything that takes them away from creating their art, the business side is actually quite creative and can inform and shape your creative process in a very positive way. Again, don't misunderstand me. There are many awesome benefits to winning a competition. For example, you learn how to perform under pressure, deal with nerves, and handle being in the spotlight. You get the opportunity to play in front of a captive audience. In the short term, it can increase your exposure and build your reputation. Winning a competition can put you on the radar of many who wouldn't know who you are otherwise. It can open a few doors and provide some new opportunities for you. Competitions are also incredible networking opportunities, not just with other artists, although it is fabulous to meet like-minded people, but it can also lead to connections with concert promoters, booking agents, and other individuals who can help you in your career. But let me ask you a question. Who won the Guitar Foundation of America competition 3 years ago? Or who won the Andrea Segovia International Guitar Competition 2 years ago? In other words, a year later, the next winner takes the spotlight and your accomplishment fades in the public's eye. That doesn't diminish your accomplishment. For those of you who have won a competition, large or small, I tip my hat off to you. That is an incredible feat and an amazing accomplishment. You should feel very, very proud. However, winning a competition is not a business plan. Winning a competition doesn't teach you how to develop your brand, build a website, write a bio, or create an artist story, how to identify your market, use social media to build your fan base, the importance of growing your email list, develop various income streams, book and plan tours, what the responsibilities of a booking agent are, what are the different options for music distribution, how to create and sell merchandise, the ins and outs of music publishing, the complexities of music licensing, dealing with finances. What are your responsibilities to manage yourself as an independent artist? And on and on and on. Again, music competitions are great, but they aren't a long-term plan for establishing a deeply satisfying and financially sustainable career. You have to have more than just great musical chops if you want to be a professional musician. Simply put, go compete, but then get back down to business. The third belief that will undermine your career development is, I simply have to hire a manager and they will take care of everything. Geez, if I had an Argentinian peso for every time I've heard that one. The worst thing that you can do for your career is put your destiny into the hands of another. It is never a good idea to put the key to your happiness, joy, and fulfillment in someone else's pocket. Period. Do not wait for someone else to open a door, offer you approval, or hand you the career you are dreaming about. Your career is your responsibility, not someone else's. And even if you are fortunate and your career is at a stage where hiring a personal or artist manager makes sense, and it won't be for most classical guitarists, you still have to supervise and direct that person or company. If you don't know what a personal or artist manager does, or what their responsibilities are, how do you know if they are doing a good job? Think about it from this perspective. If you are just starting out in your career, Why would a personal or artist manager take you on as a client? What is in it for them? Why would they invest in you? In other words, emerging artists have to build their business to the extent that someone else would want to invest in you. Personal or artist managers, like record labels, are really music business investors. An astute manager will look for certain skills, attitudes, and character traits. They will want to know how big your fan base is and how many followers you have on social media. They will check out your website and examine what kind of press coverage that you have had. They will look over your electronic press kit. They will attend your performances and see what kind of crowds you draw. They will check out your recordings and research your sales on various platforms. They will want to know what your work ethic is like. In other words, a manager that is worth their weight in gold will research your business before they will invest their time and money in your music business. Have you built your music business up to the level that they will be interested in your music business? Are you a potential business partner? Are you a good investment? In summary, build your music business to the extent that others will want to invest in you. The fourth belief that will undermine your career development is you cannot make a good living as a professional musician, or musicians are destined for a life of struggle and financial instability. Gosh, if I had a Libyan dinar for every time I've heard that one. One of the biggest challenges and frustrations of embarking on a professional music career is that we often get well-meaning family members and friends encouraging us to reconsider our career choice and find a secure career, as if anything is really secure or permanent these days. Or similarly, they suggest we have a backup plan just in case our music career doesn't work out. Well, in my mind, a backup plan is an exit plan and probably not the best mindset to go into any field. Don't get angry at your friends or be frustrated with your family members. They love you very much. This is your opportunity to educate them, and for many of you, an opportunity for you to educate yourself about how the music industry works and what the possibilities are. For example, there are over 150 different careers in the music industry, and there are many, many opportunities to create multiple streams of income. Is it easy? Definitely not. But setting up a business in any field is never easy. Dealing with the myths and assumptions about a music career that others have can be really challenging and annoying. But what is worse is when you have other musicians perpetuating myths. For example, you often hear some artists claim that the only secure jobs are in music education, or that fans don't buy music anymore, or that classical music is dead, and so on. What I have found is that these individuals have made a decent living at one time, but the music industry changed. Unfortunately, they never adapted to these changes, and they mourn the loss of a previous era. Am I saying that what has happened in recent years is fair to musicians? Hell no. But many musicians in the past shortchanged themselves because they did not understand how the music industry worked then. And they are shortchanging themselves again because they haven't adapted to how the industry works now. Is it right that others take advantage of innocent people? No, definitely not. And again, it is unfortunate that we cannot trust everyone implicitly. But again, remember, your career is your responsibility. Fans do buy music, but the outdated business model of the past is not going to work in today's market. The consumption of music has changed dramatically since the introduction of the internet. And you know what? The music industry will continue to change and evolve. If you truly want to make a living from your music, understand how today's music business works. Not the one from 40 years ago or how you think the industry should work, and learn to adapt and recognize new opportunities. Think like an entrepreneur and consider how you can create opportunities for yourself. There is an old saying that we need to remember. If you take advantage of me the first time, that is your fault. But if you take advantage of me a second time, that is my fault. We need to be smart and educate ourselves about how the music industry works. If you, as a business owner, are making decisions in areas that you're not knowledgeable in, that is your fault. Do your homework. Otherwise, don't be surprised if someone takes advantage of you. Educate yourself. Again, don't place your destiny into the hands of another. In summary, you can make a good living from your music or music service, but you have to understand how the music industry operates and be flexible as it changes. The fifth belief that will undermine your career development is, all I need is that big break in order to make my dreams come true. Golly, if I had a Malaysian ringgit for every time I've heard that one. Waiting for that lucky break in order for your dreams to come true means that you're going to be waiting for a very, very, very long time. As Paul Valery once said, the first step in making your dreams come true is to wake up. In other words, instead of waiting for that lucky break, take action and create your own luck. One of the best ways to predict your future is to create it. Although it is great if you have some idea of what you would like to do with your life, write your future plans in pencil and have an eraser close by. Life is unpredictable at the best of times and a really cool adventure if you're open to what it may offer. The unexpected, often happening at the most inconvenient time, influences our decisions and the choices we make. I remember this saying that my high school basketball coach shared with the team. I must prepare myself, and perhaps my chance will come. And if it does come, I must be prepared, or it may never come again. In other words, luck is no accident. Opportunities that you couldn't have predicted last week, let alone a year ago, happen all the time if you are open to them and ready to take action when they appear. But that is the key. You must be prepared and open to something that may not be on your radar, but very much a part of your dream. Let me give you a couple of examples from my own life as to how this can play out. In my early 20s, I was teaching privately and had roughly 25-30 students. I wanted to become a better teacher and thought the best way to do that was to become a better player. So, at the age of 26, I enrolled in university. 4 years later, I was the first person in Western Canada to graduate with a performance degree on classical guitar. Just before I graduated, that very same year, a local college announced that they were building a new campus, and one of the pillar programs of the new campus was going to be music. I couldn't have predicted that when I started my degree. It was just one of those opportunities that I couldn't have been able to take advantage of unless I had taken the first step 4 years earlier. Fast forward a few years, the same community college that I was teaching at was being designated a university college. Along with that, the privilege of granting degrees. Since I knew that most of post-secondary institutions preferred instructors to have a credential one level above the degree they were teaching, I decided to return to university and obtain my master's. But rather than return and obtain a graduate degree in performance, I decided to study curriculum and program development in higher education. It was something I was deeply interested in, and as my colleagues pointed out, it would give me some professional diversity that few in my field would possess. However, there was no foreseeable future or professional opportunities on the horizon for this credential other than personal edification. However, I loved the field. It is what interested me, and I dove in. About 5 years after I finished completing my master's, the university college I was teaching at was designated a polytechnic university, and we were directed to develop a music degree. Guess who had the honor and privilege of leading a team to create that new degree? Again, that opportunity wouldn't have happened unless I walked through the first door several years earlier. My point is this: you can't predict your future or what you might be interested in or good at. When an opportunity presents itself to you and it aligns with your why, then open the door and pursue it. The next step will present itself after you walk through the first door. So walk through that door that is appealing to you. Then and only then will the other doors, the next opportunities, will present themselves. You can't sit on the sidelines and wait for your lucky break, because it won't come along. Begin to create the life you think you want and enjoy seeing how it unfolds. If life was predictable and you were able to map out your entire life ahead of you, how boring would your life be? The greatest joys in my life have always been the unexpected. And those that know me well know that I like predictability and security. But as John Crumboltz wrote, unplanned events, chance occurrences, more often determine life and career choices than all the careful planning we do. A chance meeting, a broken appointment, a spontaneous vacation trip, a fill-in job, a hobby. These are the kinds of experiences that lead to unexpected life directions and career choices. In summary, don't wait for that lucky break. Infuse your life with action and watch the magic unfold. When you take action, they will be the most fulfilling decisions you will ever make. Those are just 5 of the beliefs that can sabotage a music career. I hope they have proven thought-provoking and inspire you to take responsibility for your career and take action in following your dreams. You might disagree with some of the thoughts and perspectives, and that is cool. The meta lesson, however, is that you should watch your thoughts and mindset. When you are creating something, you are actually creating something twice. The first is the mental creation. The second is the physical creation. The first affects the second, so it is important to mind your thinking. Make sure the first creation is authentically yours and aligns with your purpose and mission. Finally, just a quick word about the Volterra Project. The Summer Guitar Institute is the brainchild of the fabulous classical guitarist Antigone Goni and supported by an amazing leadership team. They have recognized that although most post-secondary music programs teach students how to play music, very few address all that one needs to consider when preparing a life in music. In addition to performance, which is the heart of that musical life, the Volterra Project gives you the opportunity to explore other areas critical for a fulfilling life in music, such as the psychology of music performance, how physiology impacts your music making. You explore different aspects about the business of music and receive practical advice on career development, recording, videography, and a lot more. You get to work with some absolutely amazing faculty and meet and collaborate with musicians from all around the world. It is truly a very unique opportunity, and it is one that I hope you are prepared to say yes to. Thank you for your attention. Be safe and stay healthy.